For the meeting of the City of Waterloo Board of Adjustment for Tuesday, January 24th, 2017. We do have a full board present, and members of the Planning and Zoning Department are here as well. First item is approval of the agenda.
I'd move that we approve the agenda as mailed.
Second.
We have an approval and a second. Are there any questions? All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
We are approved for the agenda. Second item is approval of the December 27, 2016 minutes. Do I have a motion for that?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor, say aye.
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 The approval of the minutes is approved. We have one decision item for today, and that is a request by Structure Architects on behalf of Hawkeye Community College for a special permit to allow for the construction of a new multi-purpose education facility and temporary variance on hard surface parking requirements for 2 years at 6315 Hammond Avenue. Do we have a staff report?
This is Dornoff with staff. The applicant is requesting to build a classroom and parking improvements at 6315 Hammond. The area proposed for the special permit is 26,000 square feet and 0.597 acres. They are requesting a 2-year variance on the hard surfacing requirements. Their property in question is zoned A1 Agricultural District and has been zoned as such since the adoption of the zoning ordinance in 1969. Surrounding land uses to the north, south, to the north, east, and west is all agricultural, zoned A1 Agricultural District, and to the south is the Hawkeye Community College Regional Transportation Training Center, zoned A1 Agricultural District. The area largely consists of agricultural. There is no drainage concerns on the site. A stormwater drainage and detention plan will be required, and it has been submitted to engineering. The Hawkeye Community College Regional Transportation Center currently uses a private sewer line that goes to the landfill, then empties out into the city system. There are overhead utility lines located along the west side of Hammond Avenue. There's a water main along the west side of Hammond also, and the fire department has indicated an existing fire hydrant in the vicinity, if there is one, would be sufficient to serve the development. The future land use map designates this area as mixed residential, low, medium, high density residential, professional offices, and neighborhood and commercial. The special permit would conform to the future land use map and comprehensive plan for the area. The site is located in a secondary growth area. The zoning ordinance requires that educational facility obtain a special permit issued by the Board of Adjustments after a recommendation from the Planning and Zoning Commission, which they did in January 10th. This is in part to the ability to develop for schools in many zoning classifications, as well as impacts such as development can have on other public infrastructure such as traffic, sewer, etc. The applicant is requesting to build a classroom and associated parking lot at 6315 Hammond. And the school is proposing to demolish an existing single-family home that sits on the site at some point in the future. The first phase of the building will be 1,250 square feet. The future addition to the building will be approximately 1,200 square feet. The approval of the special permit will allow construction of both buildings. The parking requirements for college educational buildings as per 1025-2D-26C of the zoning ordinance requires 1 parking spot for every person regularly employed on the premises and 1 parking spot for each 2 students at maximum occupancy. As per section 1020-25-2C 2 and 3, zoning ordinance requires that parking be graded, hard surface, and properly drained. The floor plan of the proposed building shows spaces for 24 students and 1 office for a teacher, which would require 13 parking spaces, which is the number being proposed for phase 1. The school is looking for a 2-year temporary variance in the hard surfacing requirements in order to allow students to install the parking lot as class projects over 2 consecutive school terms. Therefore, staff recommends the approval of the request for a special permit to allow for construction of a classroom and associated parking, and a 2-year variance on the hard surface requirement 6315 Hammond. The request would be in conformance with the comprehensive plan and future land use map for this area. The request would not appear to have a negative impact on the surrounding area. The request would not appear to have an impact on pedestrian vehicular traffic conditions in the area, with the following conditions: that the final site plan meets all applicable city codes, regulations, including but not limited to parking, landscaping, screening, drainage, etc., except as approved by the Board of Adjustments.
Thank you. Are there any questions from the board for staff? Is there anyone in the audience that would like to speak for or against this? If you would, please come up to the microphone, state your name and your address. A second time? All right, with that, I would bring it back to the board for discussion.
I'll make a motion that we approve the request for a special permit to allow for the construction of a classroom, associated parking, and a 2-year variance for the hard surface requirements at 6315 Hammond Avenue. The request would be in conformance with the comprehensive plan and future land use map. The request does not appear to have a negative impact upon the surrounding area, and the request does not appear to have any negative impact on pedestrian or vehicular traffic conditions in the area. And the following condition: that the site plan meets all applicable city codes, regulations, including but not limited to parking, landscaping, screening, drainage, etc., as approved by the Board of Adjustment.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Same sign. That motion passes. We've now moved on to the discussion part of our meeting. Is there any discussion?
I discuss adjourning.
Well, before we do, I would just like to thank the rest of the board and the planning office for approving me as the chair and putting your faith in me to lead the board. So,
Yeah.
and was that a motion for an adjournment right here?
Yes, it is.
Motion for adjournment and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned.
Your luck.